Okay, back here with Battle Cry, man-to-man combat in Pacific Theater, part of the Combat Battle Cry Iron Cross family of games. I still have the first scenario going here, but I thought, since I think I figured out one good way to illustrate why I like this game so much and why I like, or I guess what I like in my designs at this point. And then also some things about the Battle Cry rules. There I continue to find discrepancies. So specifically discrepancies between the Battle Cry rules and Iron Cross rules. And it's if I just had the Battle Cry rules, it would be getting quite frustrating. But I do think I can just play with the Iron Cross rules, but I have to keep the Battle Cry rules handy, and certainly the player aid card, because there are so many, not so many, but there are enough Pacific Theater peculiarities with respect to Japanese behavior, Japanese troop behavior, Pacific terrain types, etc. But first, playing Battle Cry here and earlier plays of Iron Cross, this is what I really like. So let's imagine a game where this is we'll say this is a fire team. Could be a squad, but I'm going to talk fire team here. So I'm not going to move pieces off of my gameplay here, but this soldier, Taga, this IJA, Imperial Japanese Army, this soldier, Ogawa, and this soldier, Kawano, these three Japanese or IJA soldiers, they are a team, a fire team, in this terrain, in this shell hole, as a matter of fact. This is their fighting position. So, in a sense, these are three individual soldiers with, and that's what I'm going to get to, three individual, you can't really call them personalities, but three individual capability profiles. I don't know exactly what to call them, but in another game, those three individual soldiers together as a team would be represented with what is frankly a generic counter, but it's a unit counter. But in the overwhelming number of cases, this is also a generic counter. So these three individual soldiers would be represented by just one team generic counter. Okay, take that off. Put these guys back because they are in the fight. All right. So what I like I'm going to take unit counters from the counter mix, right? So now we start with, again, another game. This would be a team. This would be a rifle team. And imagine this, for this game, of course, for raid, this of course is the unit identification. But let's pretend a generic war game, and let's say it has a combat factor and a movement factor. So let's say it has a combat factor of 5 and a movement factor of 4. So this rifle team unit is a 5-4, right? And that 5-4 unit is exactly the same as the next 5-4 unit, as the same as the next 5-4 unit. All 5-4 units. Period. So now this is what I like. Instead of that, I have Hand, armed with an M1, a rifleman, Moss, a rifleman, and Dabi is a rifleman, And let's say we've got parry here with the bar. And this is my team. So this is the difference. This, the 5-4 versus this. Okay, so instead of, again, a generic 5-4, here you have, okay, in this case you have 3 Marines with an assault value of 3. We just happen to have a 3-3-3-3, okay? But what if Dobby, didn't make it to the battle that day, and instead Webb, also a rifleman, was put in there? He's a little less aggressive, a little less eager to get into close combat. He has an assault rating of 2. Now they're a 3-3-2-3. So they went from a 12 total to an 11 total. Different. Also, we have a proficiency rating of 10 for Hand. He's a super soldier. Moss, a 9. He's very, very, very good at what he does. We have Webb with a 6. He's kind of a lacquered. And then we have Perry, who's a pretty good 8, right? So we've got 10, 9, 6, 8. And now again, let's say Webb is traded out for Chip. Well, Chip's a 9. He's another outstanding soldier. Now we have a really good team. This is a really good team with a proficiency ratings of 10, 9, 9, 8. But we could have a fire team that's that's a 8, 6, 5, 5. So which would be quite substandard or very poor performing unit, poor proficiency at least. Then it doesn't even end there, right? Because if the team looks like this with all these values, well, if Chip, let's say Chip and Perry are down, and Moss and Hand are up, that again changes the values. In this case, it changes their firepower and their AP factor, or AP strength, anti-personnel strength, and it changes their proficiency rating. So even in this configuration, the team is different, and it just keeps going on. I mean, it's hard. In fact, it's hard with 4 soldiers in one team that would be in another game would be replaced by this generic counter. You take another counter, you take another 4 soldiers in this family of games. It's hard to get 2 that are really actually the same, that are that are identical. So that's what I like, and it really does play out the detail. In this case, it's the detail that comes from individual soldiers. So again, as I mentioned before, the Battlecry rules just really have too many discrepancies. So not sure what I'm going to do. Continue on playing, and I'm having trouble. I know I keep saying it, but I really should just play with the Iron Cross rules. But it's also hard because I keep getting. I mean, I have to consult the Battlecry rules anyways for the terrain and the Pacific Theater peculiarities. But I really do just need to play with the Iron Cross rules. They're definitely the most developed. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking. After all these years, now okay, none of these games were ever high profile, but I do not remember ever reading that the Battlecry rules are this. And by the way, it's not. I mean, they are bad, but the whole game suffers from lack of, I guess, development. That's what I can identify, anyways. Maybe there's more to the story, but at least it's just really poor development. Poor development with components and the rule set. Just really poor development.